Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies, where Apollo faces off against Phileas Filch, as he basically said he was in the Tenma costume, he got into the Forbidden Chamber, and more, via a secret entrance. With that going on, however, we're looking to prove the fact that the costume had gone somewhere else, more to the point, had been seen flying that day. So, if I'm right, I might just have the thing to prove what happened to the costume. We'll continue on from this point. Phineas Filch, I have just the evidence for you. You too? This evidence proves you got rid of your Taro costume through the window. Right, easy said than done. The special edition newspaper, which I've just managed to skip away from, is definitely the thing.
Take that!
It was pictured flying. That's Taro flying through the sky? And just how does that prove Mr. Filch threw his costume out the window? It's quite simple. That's not Taro in the photo. It's the costume Mr. Filch threw out that seemed to perfectly fly. Oh, that's crazy talk. You ain't serious, are ya? There's a steep cliff right outside the foyer window, meaning the manor is pretty high up. The costume flew through the air after it was tossed out. Well, that's when the photo was taken. In other words, the photo of Taro really was a flight of fancy. What? Oh my! So there really never was a yokai! Oh, I can't keep any of them cats bagged. Can I still file a claim for the lost costume? This more than proves the defense's position. Jinxie Tenma had nothing to do with staging the yokai sighting. I can't raise any objections, Prosecutor Blackwill. None whatsoever. I'll deal with that tricksy Tanuki after I've dealt with this case. We did it! Good going! Now all we have to do is make Florent LaBelle take the stand.
Objection!
Of course. Sheathing the sword a bit early, are we not? Huh? Nothing has been proven beyond a doubt. Take this tricksy little Tanuki, for instance. How do you suppose he was able to exit the Forbidden Chamber? Probably the same way he got in. Through the chamber's air vent, which we said we couldn't reach from inside. And what are the feathers and tracks at the scene of the crime? They would suggest that the Tanuki exited through the chamber door, not the air vent.
Objection!
The Forbidden Chamber doesn't open from the inside, so what you're saying makes no sense. Right? Unless he was let out from the inside, outside, all around the chamber? I don't know. Someone on the outside opened the door for you. Isn't that right? Yep, that's right, Mr. Blackjack. The door suddenly sprung right open.
Hold it!
Sprung right open? Who was on the other side? They didn't see. Didn't get a good look on account of the sun glare. You just legged it out, did you? Like how the reflection from my head blinds fellow moviegoers emerging from the dark. That's when I snatched that staff and made my daring escape. And then that little maid gal spotted me as I idled down the hall. That means the Forbidden Chamber wasn't opened until after the crime was discovered. But wait. We still don't know who opened it. Maybe there really was a third person in the Fox Chamber.
Objection!
Maybe there really was. That's what we've been going for all along. You're just trying to bring it up again, aren't you? Well, you little Tanuki. When the Forbidden Chamber opened, did you see the accused passed out there? Nope. Only one there was the alderman. He was dead as a doornail. If the accused wasn't there, what do you suppose he was up to? Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going. Ah! Don't tell me! Plainly, the only one who could have opened the Forbidden Chamber was the accused Damien Tenma. Ah!
Hold it!
Wait a second! There had to be somebody else besides Mayor Tenma there. Oh, really? And who might that be? Oh, well, that would be...
Objection!
seems our feisty little lass has forgotten the most important thing. Evidence. I didn't forget. I was just testing your attention to details. Maybe?
Miss Cykes, you can't prove your point without proof of some sort. It's a proven fact.
Sorry, guess I put my foot in my mouth again. No, Athena. We're definitely onto something here. We are? Think about it. If Filch was stuck inside the Forbidden Chamber, one of the alibis we heard would no longer hold any water. The defense would like to call a new witness to the stand. Someone who knew Mr. Filch was stuck in the Forbidden Chamber. And by virtue of knowing this, has an alibi that no longer adds up. Ah, not that it's sufferable.
Very well. The court will hear what Mr. Justice has to say. Whose alibi no longer adds up?
Well, there's only one person we want to be standing here. Florent LaBelle.
Take that! Why, that's the defendant's aide, Florent LaBelle. Didn't he claim to be in the foyer at the time of the crime?
True, but in his alibi, he also claimed Mr. Filch was in the foyer too. However, as we all know now, Mr. Filch was not there with Mr. LaBelle at that time. In short, Mr. LaBelle's alibi has disappeared. I just think with all this smashing on the ground of the, the stand, the desk they're behind, they need some padding on that thing. Ah! Florent LaBelle's alibi was one big lie. Isn't that right, Mr. Filch?
I reckon there ain't no keeping that cat in the bag here neither. It was all Mr. LaBelle's idea. He told me he'd button his lip about me breaking into the Forbidden Chamber. And in return, he said we vouch for each other's alibi. Shame on you, Mr. Filch. Perjury is a serious crime, you know. Oh, shucks. Mercy, your Honourship. Mercy. Ah!
I also said that the person who opened the Forbidden Chamber for Mr. Filch was none other than Florent LaBelle. After all, his alibi has just been proven to be a complete fabrication.
I see. We will take a 20-minute recess, after which time we will see what Mr. LaBelle has to say for himself.
Yes! We're finally going to drag that slippery snake onto the stand.
In the meantime, the prosecution will question Mr. LaBelle about these new allegations.
And so we have the murderer on the stand at last. But how are we going to nail him from here? We have to get him to confess after all. I mean, Filch is quite forthcoming. We did it, Apollo! We finally dragged Mr. LaBelle into court. Yeah. Hey, why the long face? I can't help but feel I'm missing something important. Plus, Prosecutor Blackwell's bound to mount a counterattack. You really are worrywart, aren't you? It'll be fine. That mystery figure opened the Forbidden Chamber for Mr. Filch. Had to have been Florent LaBelle. I know, but that's not what's bugging me. I wish I could put my finger on it, though. At any rate, the big showdown with Mr. LaBelle is up next, so chin up, Apollo! Chin up indeed. Back in the court we go. With a little bit of loading first, it seems. Alright, resuming at 11 AM. He likes to be right on the dot, doesn't he? Wait, he's got green hair now?
Court is back in session. Our next witness is...
the Joker? Yes, I'm acting on behalf of the mayor in this very important matter.
It seems the witness is predisposed at the moment.
Surely you jest. I will hold you to your promise. Remember that. Oh, my deepest apologies. This is Florent LaBelle, personal aide to Mayor Tenma, or should I say, the accused. Ouch, like the poor mayor hasn't suffered enough. Well, what business do you have with me? I'm a very busy man, so let's make this as brief as possible.
Your boldness. Right. Mr. Filch's testimony has revealed a hole in your alibi. And for this reason, you are suspected of having some sort of connection with the case at hand.
To think I'd be associated with this entirely lurid affair. Well, I'm not, so may I go now? I have very important matters to attend to.
Objection!
I don't think so, Mr. LaBelle. Do you realize what a serious crime you committed?
Witness, you are being accused of perjury. This is your chance to clear the air.
Fine. The truth is I faked my alibi for a very good reason. The mayor was obviously the killer, so I created a fake alibi to confuse the matter. You see, as his personal aide, I felt I had to protect him. Sorry. You think this is funny? Without your alibi, you're a suspect too. What were you really doing at the time of the crime? Peasant, how dare you accuse me, one of the beautiful people of the objection room? Stop stalling and tell the court what you were really doing at the time of the crime.
Silence.
Oh, hello. Am I hounding your witness? Enough jabbering. Swords have been drawn. The time for talk is past. Swords? What swords? This is a duel to the death. The fate of the accused rests in our hands. Begone, ye of cowardly heart. He's done it again!
The battlefield hath no place for ye.
Again? Oh my.
Spare me, please!
So much for sturdier shackles. Ah! Those chains hindered my vow that heads would roll this day. This gives keeping your head on in court a whole new meaning. Will the witness please deliver the accused death knell? You know of what I speak. Most certainly. His goose is already cooked. Time to stick a fork in him. Whatever he has to say can't be good. As I told Prosecutor Blackwell during the recess, I rushed right over to the Fox chamber when I heard little Jinxie scream. What? Then, drum roll, please. I saw Mayor Tenma opening the forbidden chamber doors. But. There you have it. The mystery man who opened the chamber door, as witnessed by one Phineas Filch. It was the accused. There was never any third party. Oh, and that's not all. I heard something quite startling there at the scene of the crime. Startling sounds bad. The mayor, who was barely conscious, muttered this. Forgive me, Jinxie. I killed the alderman. That's right. The mayor actually confessed to the murder right then and there.
He confessed?
But that's just his word.
Order in the court. This is quite conclusive testimony if it stands.
Just so, and quite astonishing, I might add. I only learned of this fact during the recess. I just love surprises, don't you? That's why I saved the best for last. Consider it a gift from me to you. No way! I don't believe Mr. LaBelle heard the mayor confess.
But is this really true? Did Mayor Tenma really confess?
It is indeed. During the last recess, I confirmed it with the mayor's daughter. Oh, what? It would seem Mayor Tenma actually did confess.
That testimony is quite favorable to the prosecutions.
This is LaBelle. Yes, I called earlier about the party reservations. That's right, and I'll be calling my little shindig Mayor Tenma's Conviction Gala. A splendid time is guaranteed for all but the mayor and his defense.
Well, as it seems our witness is a very busy man, let's get right to his testimony. Mr. LaBelle, please tell us what you saw when you came upon the scene of the crime.
Testimony time. But with his slow speech pattern, will we get through it? I was in the hallway, hiding in the shadows. That's when I heard the confession. Upon learning of her father's crime, little Jinxie fled without ever noticing me. Immediately after that, the mayor came too, stood up and opened the forbidden chamber. As I ran in terror, the demon emerged from his prison. In shock, I fled down the hallway to my right, to the one with the phone at the end. Well, that's not true. Because in this version, Jinxie doesn't see Thingy. Taro.
I must say, this is a shocking revelation. Quite unexpected. To think the defendant actually confessed then and there to his crime. Perhaps the guilt was too much to bear, so he confided in his daughter, Mr. Judge and LaBelle combining. You do realize you should not have withheld such crucial testimony from the court.
Once again, sorry. It's just I feared being accused if I mentioned coming upon that most unpleasant scene. Why did the mayor's confession have to be brought up by this guy? We better do something before the judge declares the mayor guilty. As a death row inmate once told me in years gone by, there is a time to fight and a time to yield. A time to live and a time to die. He's laying it on real thick now.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Well, I think I already know the statement we're after, so I might actually skip forward at this point in time. Because, let's face it, right. Where is there evidence to corroborate? Uh-oh. Is there? I mean, there's that, but that's not any good. Right, you. Yes. As leaving the scene and calling the police, they passed each other at a bend in the hall as he made for the foyer. He was carrying a staff-like implement that jingled. She couldn't call for help because there was no one else in the hall. So, you know, she was up there, wasn't she? And also, she basically says Taro run at the hall kind of thing. So, yeah. So he went down. She didn't. That was probably when she was heading to it. I don't know. I don't know. But I think that's what we're aiming for, right? Right, so shall I skip forward? Alright, I'm gonna give it a go. Because I think, like, we know definitely this is it. So do I present on that because it's contradictory? Let's learn more about it first. So after you fled into the hallway with the phone at the end, Taro ran off toward the foyer? Precisely! Notice any inconsistencies, Apollo? Well, Jinxie also saw Taro, right? She did. She said they passed each other in the hall after she made that call to the police. But if LaBelle had fled down the hall where that phone is, Jinxie would have seen him when she was returning from making her call. Oh, right. And if she saw him, she would have definitely asked him for help. Right, it just doesn't make any sense. Time to review the evidence. Right, so that's definitely what we're doing. If we don't find some way to poke a hole in this testimony, Mayor Temma is as good as guilty. This is bad, very bad. We need to find an inconsistency, a mistake, some kind of conflict. It's all over if we can't find a flaw in the prosecution's case. It's just when I'm so certain. I always like to generally press and read the text, but I'm like so certain of this that I'm just going straight for it.
Objection!
Alright then. Florent LaBelle, you're lying about having witnessed these events from the hallway. What on earth do you mean?
Yes, care to fill the rest of us in, Mr. Justice?
If Mr. LaBelle had really fled down into the hall with a phone in it, he would have crossed paths with Miss Tenma.
What's this?
After she discovered the crime scene, she immediately went to call the police. And after making a call, she went back to the main hallway. Whereupon she encountered the demon, yokai, or whatever you want to call it. As for me, I call it Phineas Filch in a Tenma Taro costume. The encounter happened right here, where the hallways meet. As for Mr. LaBelle, if he had fled here, finding escape from the yokai imposter,
why yes, the two would have crossed paths.
See, it's like dead on. Right, except Miss Tenma told us that there was no one else in the hall. In short, Miss Tenma did not see you in the hall because you were never really there.
Ah! My eyes! My beautiful eyes!
Ha! Not such a fabulous scent now, is it?
But Mr. Justice, the witness also stated that he heard the mayor confess. If he was lying about hearing the confession from the hall, then where was he when he heard it?
Inside the fox chamber. Where else?
But isn't that within the very crime scene?
It is, Your Honor. And that means he's not really a witness. Rather, he's the third party I've been alleging this whole time.
What? You think I'm the killer? How dare you?
Silence.
Yeah, silence. We unravel that really easy.
Foolish fop. A true man knows when he is beaten. A shield of lies comes to naught before a foe with a sword of truth bared. Prosecutor Blackwill, what are you? I thought we were on the same side.
You are mistaken. There are no sides here save for my cold, steely edge of judgment. You are alone upon this battlefield, with naught but your lies and sickly sweet perfume. Wait, you're sweating perfume now? Whoa, what just happened? Blackwill's really tearing into him. You heard the mayor's confession from the inside, did you not, you deviant dandy? For the sole location from which you could have seen and heard the mayor and the tanuki, without either of them noticing you were right there in the fox chamber.
Oh my! So that's how it's going to be. Fine. I'll come clean then.
Seriously? You admit to being there in the fox chamber?
I do. I did enter the room after the murder, but I was afraid of being falsely accused, so I lied about it. I feel terrible about lying like that, but it's a verbal cologne I use to protect myself.
You better explain yourself, Mr. LaBelle.
Yes, of course. I was just about to get to that. The witness is skating on thin ice. I'll remind you that perjury is a very serious crime. Now let's hear your testimony again, this time without your perfume of lies.
So another testimony. Will there be something as clear-cut in this one?
I did enter the fox chamber after the murder, but I didn't enter until after Jinxie had heard the confession and left. I heard the mayor groan and hid behind the folding screen there. What I saw there up close, it was absolutely horrifying. So you see, I was there, but merely watching from behind the screen. From behind the screen? Why, yes, I believe you wouldn't be spotted if you were there. Just so. You can see everything without being spotted by the victim or the tanuki Filch. Suffice to say, he was mere witness to the events, rather than an actual third party.
But he was there. This guy's as slippery as an eel. Apollo, you think he's telling the truth? Well, he was in the fox chamber, so at least that much must be true.
The defense may cross-examine a slightly voyeuristic witness.
Slightly voyeuristic. I guess it's time to press. Because I'm not sure. There's nothing clear-cut this time. So this is just going to get me information I already know. Why in the world would you enter that grisly crime scene?
Why? Because I was worried sick. Mayor Tenma's suit. It
what?
It was designed personally by me. I was worried my work of art might get blood on it.
Really? This man clearly has his priorities in order. Yes.
Okay, let's get this over with, shall we? Now, where was I? Oh yes, so I entered the Fox Chamber almost without thinking. But I didn't enter until after Jinxie had heard the confession and left.
Hold it!
Why didn't you enter right away?
And ruined my designer shoes?
Your shoes?
Even now, just thinking about getting blood on my fabulous footwear, it sends chills down my spine. That's why I hesitated.
Objection!
That's terrible! A man was dying and never injured and you're worried about your shoes?
Silence!
Really? Need I remind you, this is a court of law. We're not teaching morality here. We have schools of etiquette and such for trivial pursuits. Gah. Now, you listen to me, you deceptive dandy. Get to the point and be quick about it.
Yes, well, I was there in the Fox Chamber, but I heard the mayor groan and hid behind the folding screen there.
Hold it!
Wait a second. Why did you hide yourself?
Oh my, so you do understand.
I do?
By hiding, I was concealing my fabulous beauty, which for the sake of the universe is something I should never ever do. That's what you're thinking, right?
I'm sensing a black hole of egocentricity forming around the witness stand. We can deliberate his mental process another time. Get on with the testimony, now!
Well, regarding the murder scene,
we're not really getting anything out of this.
what I saw there up close, it was absolutely horrifying!
Hold it!
See, this is just like a nonsense statement. Could you describe the crime scene in a bit more detail?
And what exactly would you like details about?
Well, what I'd like to ask you about is the feathers and tracks, the forbidden chamber, or the murder weapon. I guess we try. This is going to be our statement then. Could you describe the state of the weapons that have been used at the scene? Yeah, let's do that first.
The spear had been thrust all the way through Alderman Kyubi. Then there was that statue the alderman used to bludgeon Mayor Tenma. That incredibly inspiring symbol had fallen to the floor.
Alright, the statue. But why would he find it inspiring? Easy, Apollo, easy. Well, I was going to start there and then go upwards, but we hit jackpot straight away. Inspiring because with a cup on it, it's unity. But without the cup on it, it's attack. It's completely the opposite thing. Why exactly did you find the statue inspiring?
Well, when I saw that statue, I felt as if the merger had been realized. It was like a celebration of union between town and village, an inspiring symbol of goodwill.
A broken statue next to a bloody corpse. Real inspiring.
Well, Mr. Justice, do you consider a statement to be of any importance?
We know it is. Is it important? Very. I believe that to be extremely importantly. What? I believe that to be extremely importantly. Yeah, sure. I request that it be added to the testimony.
A statue had fallen to the floor. It was a token of goodwill, celebrating the municipal merger.
Now here, we know what to do. We know what to present. An innocuous statement becomes the dagger. Only one person knew what it looked like originally. And that was, of course, Jinxie Tenma.
Objection!
Your lies have finally betrayed you, Mr. LaBelle.
What possibly could you mean?
You said this statue was like a celebration of union between town and village. Isn't that correct?
It is indeed. But what of it?
the two yokai are joining hands in goodwill, as if they were celebrating the municipal merger. Something the matter? Yes, there is something very much the matter. So thankfully choosing the weapon first was great. And of course I went against my multiple choice rule, which is always choose the middle. But it just seemed like the more random one of the lot, because the blood and thingies would be explained away as Filch, etc. like that. The weapons are the only thing that haven't been touched on in the case, and I didn't even think about the connection to trying to... I was looking at the spear, because he'd be from the side that the spear came from. Not the statue itself. But we'll show LaBelle what the matter is next time on Dual Destinies. Are we nearly there? I don't quite know. Is there more tricks up LaBelle's sleeve? We'll find out next time. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.